Welcome to The Vibrant Couple. My name is Valdo Lallemand. I'm a love and relationship coach. Today, I have invited my friend Laurel to talk about something that afflicts many couples. Basically, they are tired and they don't have enough sex. Is that what you're seeing with your clients?
Yes, I see it about 80% of my clients.
Few of the couples I work with have young children, and as a result, I'm seeing a 50-50 where half of my clients is the man who's frustrated that his partner has lower libido, and half it's the woman who is frustrated that because she wants more sex. The assumption I'm making is that with couples who have young children, it is way more the man who is frustrated of not enough sex, correct?
Yeah, that would absolutely be correct.
Between not enough sex and built up resentment, where's the real culprit here?
Oh, definitely built up resentment. She's not getting the support she wants. He's not getting the sex he needs. There you go.
Instead of saying no, 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 no to each other, learn to say yes?
Yes, we should say yes, always, often,
And so why?
because it is the connector, right? You don't know. You think you know, you have some idea, but it's the connector. Yes is the connector. You don't know, right? You get into it, starts to feel really good. You're like, ooh, this feels really good. Let's keep going a little bit more, The baby's crying. Okay, we'll come back to this.
To make sure that women don't feel that we are promoting to them to do their, wife duty. This is not
No,
about penis into
no,
vagina. This is
no.
about being
Yes,
together, is about
yes,
spending some good
yes.
time with each
Yeah,
other.
whatever you do, even if you're just sitting on the couch watching a movie together or comedy, because I think laughter is so, so important with couples.
Because we believe that couples need more sex and more play, Laurel and I are going to present three basically games to you or ways of being playful with each other. Before we go there, we want to talk about something really important about maturity. So typically we have children when we are young. We don't know much about relationships. We don't know much about ourselves. And as we mature, we become more potent as a man, more potent as a woman. We are happier in our lives. Of course, having a good relationship helps. That's the topic of our relationship today. And so when a young man has a child, often there is a tendency to regress and become the child. And this is the place where Laurel and I invite you to learn to become the father and basically who contributes to household duties, to contributes to his wife being well fed and well resourced and sleeping enough. And of course, more sex. And so from the woman point of view, as men, we need respect. Women who need love, what do you see the transition, the maturity
Mm,
from
hmm
immature woman to a
hmm
mature woman?
hmm Yeah, so in immaturity, I think there's that defense mechanism is really easy to kind of come up easily and kind of put those walls up because we haven't really experienced long term, how to work things through. And then I think as we relax and get more mature, we become, we're coming into our motherhood, we're coming into our maturity, and we become more of a stable and very devoted wife. Now, when I say that, I really want people to understand that that's different than having to sort of mechanically have sex because you're the devoted wife. I really believe that it's not your duty, but it should be your enjoyment. It should be your pleasure.
Perfect segue for our first invitation.
So our first invitation is really based on the intent to really learn how to say yes, right? And it's really non-judgmental. It's just an invitation sort of designed to have, connection between the couple to, explore curiosity. No expectations. There's no end goal. There's no goal of an orgasm or anything like that.
Men, no end goal is very important for you because too many women feel pressured to have basically penis into vagina. And according to women, this is basically a turn off. Is that true?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a pleasure killer, really, is what it is. It doesn't allow for somebody to have that kind of curious place, that place of exploration. So I agree.
So basically, by having no end goal, men
Mm,
who are listening, we are inviting you to create the possible pleasure that is
mm,
very important for your
mhm,
partner,
mhm,
that basically gets killed
mhm,
when You push her into penis, into vagina too quickly.
And slow down. I always tell people slow down. We're so quick about, having any kind of sexual intimacy. Slow it down. Just enjoy whatever's happening in that moment. Whatever's happening, right?
So, big picture, you may not ejaculate this time,
Yeah.
but you will build your couple.
Yes. Yes. And the intimacy is the thing that we're really trying to get, right? That's that connection. The more you can feel that, I feel, the better the sexual intimacy actually will be.
Because this is new for most couples and there is lots of tension and build up resentment, we invite you to make this into a game. And one of the ways to do that is to simplify your communication. And when you feel pleasure, you just say pleasure. And when you feel pressure, you just say pressure. We are adamant on that because too many young people, men and women, do not know to ask for what they want. They don't know how to ask for what brings them pleasure. So that's a way of inviting that. And I'm assuming, Laurel, please speak of that, is how many young women do you see in your practice that know how to say no in a way that is not a turn off when they feel pressure?
Few. And what happens is they end up going along with it, and then they feel afterwards that they kind of feel like it was really transactional. And we don't want that, right? The other thing is a lot of women don't know the pleasure in their bodies and how to, pleasure themselves. So part of the work that I do is really helping women to discover their bodies, and then let their partners know what feels good. That's the second piece of it, right?
That's so wonderful. So
Yeah.
basically, listeners, we invite you to discover that from playing with each other. So what if it turns into a teaching session? When you stroke
Yeah.
my cock this
Yeah.
way, when
Yeah.
you stroke my clit that way,
Yeah.
it feels good. So is
Right.
it okay to turn it into a teaching?
Absolutely. I think that's the best thing, right? Because that's how your partners learn. That's how you learn your partner, and rather than saying, I don't like it, I always say more like, I like it there. That feels good.
So basically, we are back to our yes to being positive
Yes.
and to basically do that in a way that builds sexual pleasure, that builds intimacy, and brings the couple together, whether there is the penis into vagina or not.
Or not.
For men listening, I want to dispel something that is very ingrained into male macho-ness, which is that men should know. So for many women, a man who is willing to not know, willing to be vulnerable, willing to listen to the specifics of her body is actually sexy.
Very sexy. Very sexy. Yeah. We don't talk enough about sex while we're having it. We just don't. We pretend, we think that we're just going to know everything, right? Get into it, just start doing it, and everybody magically knows. It's not true.
Women, I just invited men to learn to listen to you and to learn from you. So there is something that I believe is very important with this game is no explanations. And so it's wonderful that you teach your men when you do this, it gives me more pleasure. Please do more of that because that gives me more pleasure. But when there is something that creates displeasure or pressure, no, first I invite you to just say pressure because that invites him to figure out by himself what it is that he did. But when you explain, basically it kills the mood.
Waldo, didn't you do a video on Emily Nagoski's brakes and accelerators some time ago?
I
Yes,
did. And
yes,
so that's one of my favorite videos.
yes,
An immature woman tends to put walls,
yes,
but a mature woman also needs to feel safe.
yes.
And unless she feels safe, she's going to have her feet on the brake. And most men do not understand because they try to basically do their technique on the clit. And by the way, men, please keep perfecting your techniques. That's really important. But when you do your technique to perform, not understanding that she doesn't feel safe, is basically going nowhere and creating resentment. So a lot of the videos is to learn to identify her breaks. And you know, when she says pressure, that is an indication that her break is on. And then when she can release her brakes and get into the mood and she feels seen and loved and she feels that it's not just about his ejaculation but about some intimacy together, then she can get into her pleasure.
So you might actually think this video is about sex, but you know, it's actually about creating a culture of appreciation between the couple. Studies actually show that couples that appreciate each other more stay together, have more of a satisfaction in their life and in their sex life especially.
So Laurel, what is an appreciation?
You know, appreciations can be as easy as, Valdo, thank you so much for making that peanut butter and jelly sandwich for lunch for me. That's easy, right?
So a small gesture
Small
of
gestures.
appreciation.
Yeah, little.
And so what could be a big appreciation?
A big appreciation could be, you know, you helped me today with the children so that I could take a nap. That meant so much to me. Thank you so much. I got some rest and now I'm feeling like, ooh, I want to do something.
Wonderful. So basically, you made my life better by doing this or being that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when I come back from home and I see you beautifully nursing our babies, it warms my heart.
Oh, right. And I appreciate you taking care of our children like that. Yes, absolutely.
Wonderful. So our yeses build on each other. And one of the key components of creating that culture is mirroring the appreciation, which we could call appreciating the appreciation. So, Laurel, when I come home from work, seeing you beautifully nursing our son warms my heart.
I hear you say that you love me nursing our child when you come home from work, and then it warms your heart.
So it's so interesting because you and I are not a couple. We don't have babies. You know, my youngest daughter is 30. So it's way past, but it does work.
It does work.
And it invites me to more yeses.
Yes. So as a couple, you're inevitably going to make requests, right? But you want to start with an appreciation first. It's kind of like the way to invite somebody. So I could say something and that would be, you know, I really appreciate that you're helping me, and would you mind helping me with this other thing as well?
So if you had told me, pass me the bottle, without telling me, hey, darling, I'm happy you're home, that would have been offensive. But when you say, darling, I'm so happy you're home, would you mind helping me with passing a bottle? Then it creates that mutual yeses.
It does.
Okay, so I come home, you are likely frustrated, drained, you know, you had a baby basically ask of your attention again and again and again and again all day long, and you're most likely frustrated, you have some resentment already, and it's likely that you would put that on me. So this is the place where appreciation is key to basically thwart that, to basically kill that in the bud, because you may say, oh, I'm so tired, I'm so glad, I need help, versus I'm so glad you're home, would you mind helping me with a bottle?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We want to do a third invitation, which in some ways is, you know, flipping the script. We want to talk about his sexiness. not hers. Too many women feel not sexy, especially about giving birth. Do you see that with the couples you work with?
Absolutely. Yeah, I see a lot. We call it body dysmorphia, and it's when you have sort of a skewed vision of what your body looks like. I can tell many, many women we gain weight. That's part of, the process. You gain weight in your legs. I think one of the most beautiful things is when a husband or a partner can say to their wife or partner, "You housed our child in this tummy. Thank you for doing that. Your body is beautiful," and really acknowledge what her body is like and help her to kind of find her way back to love of her body, because often what women feel is that their bodies are not their own bodies anymore. They're breastfeeding. Sometimes their breasts feel saggy. They're not sexual anymore. They're not used for pleasure anymore. They're used for function. And so I really think that really acknowledging that a body does go through changes. A woman's body goes through changes.
And if you can bring a long-term perspective, I'm so glad I married you. I'm here for the
Oh,
long
yeah,
haul. No pressure in you
yeah,
losing those 10 pounds. I
right,
know you want to
right,
lose. I
yeah.
want to make sure there is no pressure on me
Mm,
because I'm in here for the long haul with you.
mm, mm, absolutely.
Notice how Laurel is breathing deeper.
I know that felt so good, Valdo. I'm like, yes, yes, yes.
Because this is something so novel for so many couples, we invite you to set that first as a formal game, and the two of you play with each other. So, darling, when I do this, sexy or not sexy, and then she says sexy or not sexy, as before, there is no explanation. And then we move to the next one. When I do that, sexy or not sexy. And
Mm,
so,
mhm,
no explanation is critical because one of the keys to a mature masculine is that he becomes her hero because he wants to, because he understands her needs, because he knows how to be her hero. I did a video a year ago on 3 things women wish men understood about women.
mm.
And one of those is about
Ah,
chores, but more importantly is about chore management.
mm.
Scenario one, in which I'm doing a chore, but transactionally because I want to get into your
Yeah,
pants.
yeah.
Sexy, not
Not
sexy?
sexy, not sexy.
So what if I'm doing a chore because I love to be supporting? Of course, I don't like the chore. That's not the point. But basically, I want to be contributing
Yeah,
to your well-being and your being,
yeah,
feeling
yeah,
that I'm there with you. I'm
right,
your partner.
right.
Sexy, not sexy?
Sexy, because you're part of the right? You're helping the family, which is the whole unit, which is me and us and our children. So absolutely sexy, really.
If he were to set up a romantic mood by putting on music and candles, sexy, not sexy?
Oh, so sexy.
So sexy. So please say more about that because men are so focused on their
Mm,
penis and her
mm-hmm,
vagina
mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm,
that they
mm-hmm,
don't fully understand that women's needs are much larger
mm-hmm.
about flow and romance and intimacy.
Right,
Please say
right.
more.
Yeah. So in the beginning, we set that up, right? We always set up a lot of romance between. That's what people have in the first, year or two or three. We get away from that. I think reigniting that romance is so important. It makes women feel special. It makes them feel in that mood. And so bringing in the romance is very, very important.
From brakes and accelerators, is that a removing the brake or is that an
Yeah.
accelerator or both?
I think it could be both, right? Especially if somebody set that up as a little surprise. You're coming out from putting the kids to bed, and there you go, in the living room is a fire and some candles and music. I mean, that's a total accelerator. And definitely taking the break off of maybe no, yes.
And is that because it's a deep appreciation of her
Mm.
feminine
Oh,
nature, of love
yes,
and
yes,
romance?
all of that. Yes, absolutely.
We hope this video was helpful for you to have more fun and more play, and of course, more sex. All couples are very unique. They have their own stories,
Yeah,
they have their own
yeah.
bodies, they have their own history of resentment, of
Mm-hmm,
things that
mm-hmm,
basically trigger each other
mm-hmm,
and snowballs way too quickly.
mm-hmm.
And so, if you found this video helpful, I will put in the description below the way to reach Laurel and work with her, and also the way to reach me should you be interested.
Mm. Thank you, Valdo.
If this video inspired you to liberate more love in your couple and improve your sex life, please hit the like button below and subscribe so you can be notified when I publish new juicy content. And please share with all you believe would benefit, even if that may be a little uncomfortable. So here are links to the video we talked about during our last 10 minutes together. One on brakes and accelerators, one on chore management, learning to bring more pleasure in one's couple life. And last but not least, to have a happy sex life, you must talk about sex.